Good afternoon, it is Saturday the 8th of February, it is just coming up to 4:30 and I am heading off out for a bit of an Uber shift. So I've been checking over the past hour or so, just seeing if anything was going on, any sort of massive owl coming in, any like reservations, any sort of like, surging all over the northwest or anything, but nothing massively great. So yeah, I'll keep you posted shortly and let you know how I'm getting on. So it's just it's 20 to 6, so it's been about an hour. I left mine about 10 minutes late. I was too busy following that owl round the garden. My son wanted to come out and have a look. So anyway, took a first job, which was out in the sticks. Just a little bit past Tarleton. It was going into Southport. It was £14.12 for 6.2 miles, but then I ran probably 3 or 4 miles to it easily. I'll stick up a little video now basically showing you when I say I'm out in the sticks what my version of out in the sticks is. These are the type of places that I go to because of where I live. Obviously it depends if you're living in a city centre or whatever, but this, yeah, a lot of my jobs are basically like this, so I'll put a little video up in a sec, but it'll probably be muted, I think, because I'd like my podcast on and whatnot. As I was dropping them off, an XL job popped up. It was £39.75, going 15 miles to Seaforth, down towards Liverpool there. So I thought, well, I'll take it. It's not a million miles away for me getting back. I'm hoping I can kind of jump back now, get something from Liverpool towards like Formby or Ainsdale kind of way, or if I'm really lucky, something back towards like Southport, Ormskirk kind of way. Yeah, and that was it basically. It was like a multi-stop. You've been to the theatre in Southport, so that was like, it was like 30 seconds from where I dropped our first customer off. A family of 6. We dropped the nan off first, and then the rest got out probably 1 minute round the corner. So yeah, not too bad. So basically for the first hour I am on £53.87. That's all there. So I'll go back online now and I'm going to try and jump back towards where I want to go. Some of the jobs that were popping up were in and around, like taking me towards Bootle and Litherland and things like that, and they were like £4 or £5, and it's not for me. When I'm looking out now, it's just all rammed here traffic. It's not my cup of tea. I certainly don't want to be getting dragged towards like Liverpool city centre. So there's one there, Bootle to Liverpool city centre, £11.50. It's not too bad, it's 6 miles. Get rid of that. And then there's another one 4 miles away in Seaforth, going 2 miles. It's like £7. Somebody stuck there. £8.50, 2 miles away, going 2 miles. So Seaforth over to Waterloo. It's not too bad, but basically I'm travelling nearly 2.5 miles away to come 2 miles back to where I am. So I know it's not too bad, like the £8, it's basically like £2 a mile, but you need to think about the time it's going to take you. It's like this one here, pick up 0.7 of a mile away to drive 20 minutes or 10 miles to L11. I don't even know where that is. But it's going to take longer because of the amount of traffic now, because it's not far off 6 o'clock. XL on there, it's going to L8, 23 quid for 11 miles, so again not too bad, £2 a mile, but it's saying 45 minutes, but it's going to take longer than that, going all the way through the city centre, popping out the other side there, so they're going in the wrong direction. This one here is like a 10-mile job, about 35 minutes, going towards Knowsley. Oh, you're still online? Yeah, I'm still online. Like, offer me something half decent. £7 on there. So that's the one that popped up before. £10. Picking up 3 miles away and then going to the Ancient Tree, wherever that is. Just says the Ancient Tree. I don't know if I'm supposed to know that because I'm Scouse. I've got no idea where the Ancient Tree is. Might be people watching saying, oh, it's obvious, but I haven't got a clue. So yeah, I'll wait around here, maybe another 5 or 10 minutes, see if there's something going back that way. Here's one. 15 miles, 45 minutes, £16.50 going over to Birkenhead, going through the tunnel and everything. Swerve that. You are no longer online. Go back online. It's stupid. I hate the way it does that. So yeah, I'll carry on doing that. There's no point you sitting here watching me do it, and I'll let you know how we got on in a bit. So it's just coming up to 20 to 8. It's been 2 hours since the last update. I just dropped off that XL down in Seaforth in Liverpool there. I hung around there for about 20 minutes. No jobs were really coming up. I did set the destination, or the filtered destination, to take me back to Southport, but because that many jobs had come up that I hadn't accepted, and obviously it kicks you offline a couple of times, it then also removes your destination, which I had set for Southport. So I thought, right, okay, so I just started driving back, just job after job. They were all, every single job that came up was trying to drag me into Liverpool city centre. I then accepted a job which was going, it was kind of Formby way to Ormskirk as I was driving back. It was an XL Surge, £12.16 for 3.8 miles. Dropped them off. Started slowly heading towards Southport, and then including a £2 tip I got a £6.45 Southport to Southport. That was for 0.8 of a mile. There's all sorts of like dead mileage in between that, because like I said, I was kind of bouncing back and forth. Then I was in Southport and I'd done a £6.5 for 2.5 miles. I'd then done a £9.8 for 4.9 miles. I'd then done an XL, which was Southport back to Ormskirk, £13.56 for 4.8 miles. They were a bit of a pain, them, to be honest. Like, I got there and then they were like, oh, is this, I don't think this is the place. And I'm like, you know, this is the bar that they've asked to go to. And then they're asking the others in the back and they're saying, oh yeah, it's a little bit further down on the right. So I was like, right, okay then. So I drove like another 100 metres down. And then they went, oh no, we were at that bar before. Oh yeah, you have to turn around, it's back where we've just been. So I've done the 3-point turn and drove back, and the bar was there. I was like, a bunch of clowns. So then as they got out, I already had a booking for another group to get back in. That was a group of 3 lads who I dropped off at that bar probably about 40 minutes beforehand. So they were basically bar hopping. So then I dropped them off round the corner. So that was £3.74 for 1.3 miles. And then I've just done a Southport to back to Birkdale again to the train station, £7.54 for 2.1 miles. So I've currently done 3 hours and I'm on £112.45. So I'm on around £37.30 an hour. So it's been quite good. And like I said, I've done 3 hours, and 2 hours 36 of that was driving hours. I've done 9 trips, but just as I logged off then, I think it said like jobs offered 27, jobs completed like 6 or something. So again, it's the amount of jobs that's being offered to me, but they're just miles away, ridiculous jobs. That's it. So yeah, just gone back online now. I'm probably going to be going, so here's another job here, a job to Liverpool, so it's like 45 minutes Uber saying, which is like 19 miles. They're offering £26. I wouldn't do it. Maybe that's for someone who's driven up here from Liverpool, might take them back, but that's, you know, to L1. I've done that in the past, but I've done that for, I think I've done one for 40 and I've done one for 50 because they were XL jobs. And I was just basing that on, I can't be bothered, it's miles away. Yeah, I was basing that on worst case scenario, I could drive there and back and be on like £25 an hour, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, there's a lot of mileage involved, especially when you're looking at like, so I'll take this one here. So it's like a 2 mile job for like £5.40 or something, so it's not too bad. So yeah, I'll go and pick Mike up, and I'll give you another update shortly. So next hourly update coming up to 20 to 9, just after 20 to 9. Still been busy, to be honest. After that last one, what was it? 1940, yes, it was there. So including a £2 tip, it was £7.17 for 0.9 of a mile. I then had an XL, £8.02 for just over 2 miles. I then had a 6.24 for 1.2 miles, £6.20 for 1.7 miles, and then I've just done a £5.80 for 2.1 miles. Sure, it's just popped up saying someone's just given me a tip, but I couldn't see one there. Oh, it's from a job from before. Just goes to show, you know, from an hour and a half ago when I've dropped somebody off, it would have been for £3.74 for 1.3 miles, and they've just given me a £1 tip an hour and a half later. So yeah, you know, goes to show, as long as you're nice to the customers and whatnot, it's they'll throw some money your way. So it's where are we on? Just got to £146.88. I've done 4 hours, so it's roughly £36.70 an hour. So I think it's come down a tiny smidge, but yeah, that's quite good, to be honest. Happy with that. What I'm not happy about is I'm going to have to go on charge now, or head over towards there. So yeah, it's not far off 9 o'clock, but the cheaper tariff doesn't kick in until 10. So basically at 10, I think it's about 52 pence a kilowatt, and right now it's like 80 or 82 pence a kilowatt or something. So it's a fair whack more. Basically, if I charge up a full tank after 10, it's around £20. If I go and do that now, which I'm going to have to do, it's going to work out at about 30, I think it's like £33 or something. So it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but I've got 12 miles of range left. So after I do another 2 miles, it then bleeps and comes up to say, you know, you've got to start heading towards a charger and whatnot. I mean, I'm only 2 miles away from a charger, so technically I probably could do another job, maybe 2, which I might do, to be honest. I might as well. Because it takes about an hour to charge, so the longer I can drag that out. So for example, if I jump on charge at 9:30 and it takes an hour to charge, I'll pay half an hour at the higher tariff, and then the lower tariff will then kick in at 10 o'clock until 10:30. But yeah, it's just the weather. Like if I was in summer now, I'd still have probably another hour of battery left, as daft as that sounds. That like extra 5-6 degrees makes all the difference. Like it's 4 degrees now, but it's freezing outside, and it just affects the battery. Like I said, I only came out at 4:30, so it's yeah, I've done, well, it was like 22, yeah, so it's basically 4 hours, and I've basically used all the range on the battery. How many hours have I drive? Just trying to see how long I've actually been driving for. I forgot to reset my clock, you say, before. So I've done 3.5 hours with customers in, but I'd say most of the time I have been driving. I think what's basically took a little bit of a whack of that is because I'd done that XL job all the way to Liverpool, so there was quite a bit of like bypass involved in it, which didn't help. But then it's just because it's so cold. Like I said, in summer I was happily coming out, and I remember I was doing like 7 hours or so, 6-7 hours, and then jumping on a charger. But as tonight I've done what, 4 hours, maybe just coming to, well, just over 4 hours now. And well, it did say 12 miles. I've been sitting here talking and the range has increased. It's gone up to 13 miles and I'm not moving. So yeah, things like I'll turn the heater on, which puts like a little bit of a hot shot blast in for like 20 seconds, and you turn that off and then it's nice and warm inside. It does retain the heat quite well. Don't know if it's because it's like a newer vehicle. It's not like it's drafty or anything. It's just a killer, obviously, when you open them back doors, because they're just like big, massive, like bifolding doors. The heat just disappears straight away, and then you shut it, and then obviously the customer's cold, so you whack the heaters back on again. So when you're doing that time and time and time and time again, it just eats away at the battery. So yeah, I think I'll be a bit cheeky and go back online and pick up another one or two little like £4 jobs, and do what I normally do, which is like crawl into the charger like on limp mode, which I've done a few times, just to try and get as close to that 10 o'clock mark as I can. But yeah, that's I would say that's probably like one of the only like downfalls of this vehicle, is like I wish the battery was a bit bigger. But like I said, like I've said a few times, and especially like when I first started doing Uber, which was back in August, the only ones at the time that were larger were the Mercedes, which were like between 2 and 3 times the price of this. So it just wasn't worth it. They have just brought a newer version of this model out, which has a 75 kilowatt battery in it, instead of this one, which is a 50. But again, it's just not really worth it, because again, because there's no second-hand ones yet, they're 50 grand, and yeah, I wouldn't be paying that, because even then I think it says it on paper it's supposed to get like 210 miles or something. I don't think it's worth it for the price for the range that you're getting. So yeah, the only other one you can get at the moment is the Mercedes, the eVito, and that has a 100 kilowatt battery in it. But again, you can get real basic ones. I think I had a look the other day. I think the cheapest one on there was like 30 grand, and it was white. It looked awful. Didn't have alloys on it. It didn't have electric doors. It had fabric seats. It looked horrendous. There's no way I'd drive around in it. I'd feel embarrassed. So basically, to get one with the features that I wanted, like all the leather, the electric doors and things like that, you're looking at best part of 60. So it's just not worth it to get twice the size of the battery for almost 3 times the value of what I've paid for this. Because like I said, I paid 25 for this, which was a fantastic deal considering the 50 new. But yeah, I couldn't go out and justify spending 60 grand on one to basically, especially taking like Uber passengers round. Yeah, it's definitely not worth it. I don't know how some people do it, who go out and they'll go and buy themselves like a big top of the range, like Audi or Mercedes or something, an EV, to be doing like executive work on Uber as well. It's just not worth it. So anyway, yeah, I think I'll go back on. I'll do that now while I'm waffling, and yeah, see if I can do another 1 or 2 little small jobs before I go over to the charger. So yeah, what's this one? It's pushing it a bit. No, I'm not going to take it. It's a bit too risky. It's like, it works out an 8-mile job, which is 18 minutes, but it's an XL. It's like 12 quid. They want me to drive 3.8 miles towards kind of like Formby way to do. It's like 3.2 miles back into Southport. But the thing is, it's an XL. You're going to have potentially up to 6 passengers in, and then it's going to be really embarrassing if it goes into like limp mode, because basically once you get to 10 miles it pops up, your sat nav automatically directs you to a charging point. It just kind of restricts your power a tiny bit, but nothing much. You can still carry on driving. And then when you get down to like your last, I think 5 or 6 miles, basically the range disappears off the screen, and then it really does kind of like restrict your power. So like if you put your foot down, you can still kind of drive like 30 mile an hour or so. I'll take that one. And then after like another minute or 2 of doing that, it goes into full on like limp mode, and you can do like less than 10 mile an hour. So yeah, that would be really embarrassing if you had customers in and you're doing 10 miles an hour dropping them off. So yeah, I want to avoid that. So I'll do this one. It's only a mile away, picking them up, and I think he was only going like half a mile. I think it was like, what was the job? I don't even know what it was paying. It's coming up as like a £4 job. So yeah, I'll go and do that, drag it out a bit more, and then go and jump on charge. So I'll yeah, the next update will be, like I said, I'm going to go on charge, and then it'll be like an hour after that, so it's not going to be far off, probably not far off midnight now. So I'll catch you in a bit. So it's just turned 1 AM. Last update was 8:40 when my battery was running out. So yeah, I was looking for a couple of little cheeky jobs before I went on charge. So a little £4.23 popped up, and that was 0.7 of a mile. So I'd done that, and then still it was only like 9:10. I thought I'd drag it out a little bit longer, and then an XL came up, and it didn't really give me much information. It just said it was like half a mile away, and it was going to 10 pin, and that was it. So I thought, well, the only 10 pin I can think of is the 10 pin bowling in Southport, and it said it was like £12 or something. So I thought, go on, I'll take that, because then it's only like 2.5 miles. So I got there, it's round the corner, sat there like 3 minutes. I was like, what's going on? So I clicked on it just to check like the rider's rating and whatnot, and then I realised in the corner it come up saying, because it then tells you a price, what you're expected to get for that job, and it was like £9. And I thought, well, hang on a sec, I took this job because it told me it was paying me 12 quid. So ended up picking them up and dropping them off at the 10 pin on the front there. As I was driving down there, the battery like half went into limp mode, so I could only kind of do like 30 mile an hour, which isn't too bad because you're in Southport anyway, and the majority of the roads are 30 mile an hour. So yeah, I dropped them off, which then took, what time was that? Picked them up at 1:15, dropped them off at 25 past, and then got down to the charger for like 20 to 10, I think it was, and jumped on. So I did dispute that with Uber, but there's not like everything's just all like an automated thing, because you have to go on, say I've got an issue with the trip, and it says like, what's the issue? Do you want it to be recalibrated? Do you want this to happen? Do you want that? And then when you click something and click submit, that's it. There's no box to put in. You said you were going to pay me 12 quid and you've only given me £9. And then it came up saying, okay, we've recalculated it and we've put it up to £9.86, so we've got like an extra 86 pence out of them. So I'll just give up anyway, because I was on charge. Came off charge just after 11 o'clock. Done a £5.32 for 1.3 miles. I've then done this job, which should have been £7.99 for 2.4 miles, but he's given me a £5 tip as well, so it was £12.99 for 2.4 miles. So it's good going. He was the guy who was a financial advisor, so I picked him and his wife up, and he said, oh, it's my first time using Uber. He said, I've been in an Uber when someone else has been paying, he said, but it's the first time he's done it on his app. So he was asking some questions about it, and his wife was like, oh, I'm so sorry, this is what he's like. And I was just laughing. He said, I'm just wondering if the delay in getting a job, is that because you drivers are all putting bids in for jobs? And I was like, oh no. I said, like, we don't bid for the job. I said, it comes to us. I said, basically, you know, and I explained like Uber will float various prices to different drivers, basically to see who they can get away with paying the least amount to, basically. So he was quite surprised. He thought it came out to all the drivers, and then as drivers we then all bid to say, you know, I'll do that for a £5, or I'll do that for £6 or whatever. So I explained that to him, and then he was asking about the like the holiday pay. He said, because you use a class as self-employed, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, so you get paid like holiday pay, like set holiday pay? And I said no. So jobs were coming up, and I was explaining to him, I said, like, look, here's one here. They're offering me £25 to drive to Liverpool. It says plus estimated holiday pay of like £2.05. I said, so all it means is, back before the courts told him that they now have to pay his holiday pay, Uber would have just offered me £27 for that job. But now, because they have to pay his holiday pay, now they're basically saying, right, okay, well, we'll give you £25 for that job and £2 holiday pay. So it's basically just like a redistribution of how they're actually, spreading the money out, basically. It's just a way around it. So yeah, he was quite intrigued in that. Then I've done a £4.45 for 1.8 miles. And then I think it was this guy, yeah, because it was after him. I'd accepted that job because it was just round the corner, basically. It was about half a mile away from when I dropped that customer off, and it was like £4. Oh no, it was in between them, sorry. It was only a smallish job anyway, so I dropped them off, started the next job. As soon as I started it, he messaged me and said, oh hi, he said, I've got a small dog, will that be okay? So I'm thinking, he knows it's not okay, that's why they're messaging to say I've got a dog. And the thing is, you can book an Uber Pet round Southport, so I don't know why they try it on. So I messaged them back all night saying, oh hi, I said, unfortunately no, I'm not prepared to carry your pets, basically. So if you can, just cancel for me, and said either rebook at an Uber Pet, or you can try your luck and book another Uber X. I said, but to save yourself like the messing, make sure you message the driver again like you have me. I said, and they might take it, it's because at the end of the day, it's down to the driver's discretion if you like pets or whatever. I don't have pets, so I don't want a dog in the back of my car. So I sat there for a couple of minutes and he didn't cancel it. So I was like, what am I going to do? Because if I now cancel it, my cancellation rate is 0%. It's then going to go against me because I've cancelled the job on him. So I was like, what an absolute arsehole. So basically I had to drive the half a mile to his house, crept past his house at like 5 miles per hour, so it notified them that I was there, because it then brings up a big massive list of reasons as to why you want to cancel the job. And one of them is the rider has a pet with them. So I click on that saying I want to cancel because the rider's got a pet. This big massive warning message comes up saying please note that it's a legal requirement to carry a guide dog or a service dog or whatever. If you refuse to do this, your account will be deactivated, like all in bold writing and everything. And I'm thinking, hang on a sec, let's rewind here. I've clicked the passenger has a pet, which could be a parrot or a snake or a monkey, it could be anything. And they're just assuming straight away that you want to cancel a job because they've got a guide dog or something. You'd have to be some kind of sicko to cancel a job because you've turned up and someone's got a guide dog. I want to cancel a job because somebody wants to put their shit machine in the back of my car. If you're into animals, that's fine. That's your business. But don't be bringing that over to me. When you can easily go on the app and book an Uber Pet. But people aren't booking an Uber Pet because they're going to have to pay more, and they don't want to pay more. Everyone just wants to do the cheapest possible thing they can and try and get away with it. So yeah, I cancelled that, and even though I've had to drive there because the guy refused to cancel the job, I don't get anything for it. I just think that's mad, to be honest, because there's a big list of things on there. You can say like, the passengers being abusive, the passengers drunk, there's too many passengers, there must be 20 to 30 things that come up, and it's like, so why do Uber allow you to drive there to then say, look, I don't want them getting in because they've got pets with them? And then Uber's like, all right, okay, that's your loss. You should be able to charge them, because why have they booked you if they've got pets? So anyway, I left there, done a little £4.18 for 1.6 miles, and then a £7.67 for 1.8 miles, a £6.80 for 2.8 miles, a £5.76 for 2.3 miles, a £4.20 for 1.5 miles, a £4.29 for 0.8 of a mile, and then I've just dropped the guy off and done £3.74 for 0.8 of a mile. That's only because it was on the same road as where I dropped the other passenger off. So, you know, 3.74 for less than a mile. It's a good rate, isn't it? You know, imagine a job came up and you were getting £3.74 per mile. You know, you'd be more than happy with that. So what am I on? Currently on £222, and I've done 7 hours, so it's just over 30, isn't it? The hourly rate's still coming down. It's now on £31.70, which is still good to be fair. 5.5 hours driving. I've done 26 trips. Just go back online. So yeah, it's just after 1 o'clock now. So I'll gonna wait around Southport. I'll probably give it another 5 or 10 minutes max, and then I'll probably start slowly heading back home. But on the way home, I'll go like the Ormskirk route, see if there's anything kind of happening there. But yeah, up to now it hasn't been too bad. What else have we put on here? Yeah, I've mentioned that. Any daft jobs that's come up? I haven't taken any screenshots or anything. So yeah, hasn't been too bad, to be honest, tonight. It's taken over quite well. Jobs are quite good. There's been lots of jobs that to be fair, that have popped up which are really poorly paying. But yeah, it's just a case of you having to shift through them and just not accept all of the crap. I can only assume that all the people who you see on like the Facebook groups and whatnot, who are all complaining, saying, oh, you know, Uber's over, this is over and all that, I can only assume because they're just accepting all the crap jobs. They're all the people doing the donkey work, because they're just refusing to sit there just for a minute to say, oh yeah, that's going to benefit me. It's like I was looking at a job before, I think it was like £15. It was like a 15-minute job. So in reality you think, well, that's not too bad, because if you got a £15 job and you got 4 of them in an hour, you know, then you're on 60 quid. So then that'd be a fantastic hour. The issue with the job was, it was, you know, like 15 quid for like a 15-minute job, but it's going right out into the sticks. So once I've dropped them off, you're not going to get a job coming back, which then means you're driving 15 minutes back. So now that £15 for 15 minutes is actually £15 for half an hour. So then that's not so great, because then if you get another one of them, then okay, it's not too bad. It's worked out. You're still on your £30 for the for the hour. But it's just little things like that you have to look at. It's not all down on the mileage. A lot of it is, how long is it going to take me to complete that job? And another big massive one is, where am I going to finish? You know, because I've been offered like decent jobs, like £20-30, but again, it's like one popped up before. I think it was like £30, and it was taking me to it's like the back end of like Tarleton, which kind of it's probably not too far. It's like between Southport and Preston kind of thing, but it's right out into the sticks. So then that £30 job, which is then going to take you like anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes to drop them off, it's then not so great, because there's nothing out there. It's just all farmland. So then you then basically have to turn around and then come back. So then that means that's then turned into a job which is like you're like an hour and 20 minutes. It's like that one there. You look at the mileage isn't too bad, but it's saying it's going to take you at least 15 minutes, and it's offering you £6. So then you're thinking, well, even if I got 4 of them back to back, then that's £24 for the hour, whereas I'm averaging, what, 32 at the minute. So again, you've got to sit there and look at how, not so much how quickly can I do the job, but, you know, if it's giving you like £6 and it's like a 4-minute job, you think, oh, that's okay. Like, I dropped someone off at the end of Lord Street. Lord Street's probably, I don't know, dare I say, half a mile long. You drop someone off at one end, and then you can pick someone up 100 metres away, and they are literally going to the other end of Lord Street, and you get like £3.50 for it. And you're thinking, well, you know, you could jog that in about 30 seconds if you wanted to, but people are happy to pay you like £3.50 for driving in a straight line. It's crazy. So yeah, I give it another 5 minutes, because I think I've been waffling for about 5. As you've seen, only that one job's popped up then, and it was rubbish. So yeah, I don't know if it's kind of done round here now. What tends to, the type of jobs that tend to happen now is jobs will pop up taking them back to, say, like Ormskirk, for example. I don't like doing them jobs from past experience. As I've mentioned in other videos, when it's kick-out time, and obviously you're picking drunk people up, you only really want to accept the jobs where they're in, or they're sat in the back for as little amount of time as possible, because if they're sick, they're less likely to throw up if they're only in your car for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. If I pick someone up from Southport now and go down all the bumpy roads, churning the stomach up, 20 minutes or so back to Ormskirk, there's a good chance they're going to throw up, and I've had that. I've picked someone up from Southport and made it halfway back to Ormskirk, they've thrown up in the back. I've picked someone up near Ormskirk and made it halfway back to Southport, they've thrown up in the back, and both of these were gone 1 o'clock in the morning, when obviously people have had a skinful and that's it, I want to go home now. So yeah, when I get to about this time, I avoid long jobs, and I'll just look for all them little short ones where people are just going like half a mile because they're just going home. Because I'm thinking, if you're going to throw up, I don't know, there's the probability of doing that in a short journey, basically your odds are better. So yeah, I'll stop waffling. What's this? See, it's like an XL job, it's 5 miles away, and then it's going 7.5 miles to Crosby. So, you know, it wants me to do like 12.5 miles. It's £18, and it's an XL. So I'm thinking, I'm then going to finish over in Crosby. I'm not going to get anything from Crosby coming back this way, not at that time. By the time I drop them off, it's not going to be far off 2 o'clock for the 18 quid. It's an XL, so you're going to have anything up to 6 passengers in. It's 1:15 in the morning. They're all going to be trolleyed, all screaming, shouting, fighting. Can I be bothered putting up with that for like 30, 40 minutes? And then to top that off, you're not going to get a job coming back. It's just not worth it. Whereas some people will look at that and go, oh, look at that's decent money, they'll grab it, get to the other end, and then go, oh, that was a bit of a crap job, I shouldn't have took that. So yeah, I'm more than likely now just going to start heading back, which it can be a bit of a shame, because it's like, it's probably going to take me anywhere 15-20 minutes to get back towards Ormskirk. So that's like, you know, I've lost 15-20 minutes of the hour of not being paid, which obviously affects my hourly rate. But I would rather run that back empty than run that back with the passenger who's trolleyed, sat in the back, and I'm worrying all the way, are they going to throw up now? And it's going to cost me like 120 quid or whatever to have my car valeted. It's going to put me off the road. Honestly, it's not worth it. I've been there and it's definitely not worth it. So right, I'll give you the next update in a bit. It'll either be after I've done another hour and I'm going to carry on, or it's going to be when I've done an hour, it's crap, so I've gone home. So let's see what happens. So I've just got home and it is 3:30. Last update was 1 o'clock. I was still in Southport. I waited around for about 15 minutes and there was nothing. So I thought I'll start heading back towards Ormskirk. As I was driving back, loads of really stupid jobs were coming up, but they were all the way in Ormskirk. And the thing is, if you accept a job, you're like 15 plus minutes away, so the customer's just going to cancel anyway. So basically I just logged off for about 10 minutes whilst I was driving back, and then came back on like as I was kind of like pulling in. So then I got my first little job when I arrived, £4.13 for 0.60 mile. And then I got, oh, that was a surge job as well, apparently. I then got an XL surge job, £7.93 for 1 mile, a £3.76 for 0.9 of a mile, another surge job, £4.69 for 1.6 miles, another surge job, £6.70 for 1.9 miles, another surge job, £6.02 for 1.4 miles, a £4.12 for 1.8. That was around 3 o'clock, and then this job that I'd done, which was about, it was like 20 past 2, a job popped up, reservation, and it was an Ormskirk to Ormskirk, an XL job that I accepted. It was £28 and it was going 2.4 miles. So it was basically, it's too late, me. It's, what is it? 28 divided by 2 points. What was it? 2.4. So £11.60 a mile. Yeah, I was paying £11.60 a mile basically. I thought that can't be right, so I accepted it, and it was literally just going from the McDonald's 2.5 miles away, and that was like New Year's Eve kind of prices. So I accepted that about 20 past 2, and I'd done all them little jobs between it, and then I think it got to about 20 to 3 because it was booked in for 3, and Uber done its usual thing where it says, oh, it's now time to head over. I thought it's going to take me 2 minutes to get there. You know, I'm going to be sat there for 20 minutes now. But as I was driving over, I seen the GPS location of the girl was there. And then when I arrived, the 6 of them came over and got straight in, even though I was 20 minutes early. So I thought, oh, happy days. So, yeah, went and dropped them off. Got 28 quid for it. And then after that, I done a small little £4.16 for 0.9 of a mile. That was about it. It was just really quiet after that. Came out of the little university, drove down. I seen about 8 or 9 Wolverhampton Ubers all parked up. There was like 5 of them all out, all like talking to each other, and I was just like, oh my god, what's going on here? Yeah, so I've just left it logged on as I was driving home, but I knew, because it's, you know, it's like 3:30, there's nothing going on around here. It's not a city centre. You know, it's be a different story if you were in, you know, like Liverpool or Manchester or something, but yeah, out in the sticks there's nothing going on here at 3:30 in the morning, I can promise you that. Yeah, so that was about it. So I finished on £291.88. I've done 9.5 hours. 291, 291, 9.5. So it's just shy of £31 an hour, which isn't too bad, to be honest. Been quite consistent tonight. I've done 9.5 hours, but driving time is 6.5. So not sure what I've been doing for the other for the other 3 hours. We completed 35 trips. Yeah, all the feedback and all that are still the same. Confirmation has dropped to 23%. Cancellation still on 0. I think that was about it. There wasn't really else. Yeah, there wasn't anything else to mention. Have I taken a screenshot of anything? No, no screenshots or anything, so there wasn't anything even like really ridiculous coming up. Yeah, so all in all, quite a decent shift, to be honest. Yeah, I've used pretty much all of my second charge. Got about 20 miles left or so. So even if there was still people out, I probably would have had enough for another half an hour, 30-40 minutes. I might have gone with the 2 or 3 jobs in, and then I would have had to have come back anyway. I'm just coming up to 277 miles for the shift, plus what I had left, so yeah, I probably would have had enough for about 300 miles. Yeah, that's about it. So without waffling too much, I will be back out again on Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday. So yeah, thanks for watching. Any questions or anything, please feel free, put it in the comments and I'll get back to you. But yeah, thanks.